Hey everybody, it's Free to Play Bust, kicking off expedition number 170. Let's see what we get. Okay, interesting little set. Uh, could jump in on the old Enlightenment Trundle. I'm not a huge fan of this card pool. I think it's got problems with it to where it wants to be both doing things with like battle scars and then things with enlightenment. But perhaps we'll give it a go. I'm just not like a huge fan of this behold mechanic. But I don't feel like it's really fleshed out enough. I wish there was another card like Trundle that generates the 8 cost card, so you don't just have to be playing a bunch of expensive things. Um, but if you're going to be playing expensive things, I prefer them to be spells, since you can play a Battle Fury before turn 8, but you can't play Usgar before turn 8. And so, it's okay to have these, just kind of expensive cards in your hand, but if you can't actually play it until turn 8 to have the in play behold as well, it's just kind of awkward. And over here, Mega Keg, not a huge fan of this card pool. We can skip over this one pretty easily. I'm just not a huge fan of what this does. I think it's just too high rolly to try to be doing the AoEs with the more powders. I just don't think the payoff when it's good outweighs the times when more powders are bad. There's just too many times to where more powder and is just a dead card. I'm kind of okay with the ones that come from like Gangplank and the 2-drop and the 3-drop, but the physical card more powder, like it is pretty high powered if you're able to play more powder and then Kempunk Shredder your opponent's board. But in general, not a huge fan of this Mega Keg theme, at least on the Gangplank side. Then over here, Scrap Heap Jinx, it's a reasonable start. Um, the idea with this card pool is that you're getting some kind of value out of discarding cards from your hand, and so you can play Chump Wump, get these Mushroom Clouds in your hand, and then discard them to a Get Excited or whatever, like the Zonite Urchin and Sump Dredger Dweller, whatever, the kind of discard cards to draw cards dudes. It's kind of the idea with what's going on with Scrap Heap. But I think we haven't like fully explored Trundle, and so we'll take a run down here. We just take a moment. We'll get this pulled up on the site. We can talk about it a little bit more. Okay, and the site is ftpbus.com. All the cards are in this little drop down thing here. We can just scroll down to Trundle Enlightenment, and this will list all the cards that are in this card pool. And so there's kind of two things going on here, as I mentioned. There's the ramp theme, so we have Catalyst of the Aeons, Faces of the Old Ones, Wolf Rider, and Weirding Stones. And so the idea behind this card pool is that we're going to be playing these ramp cards so that we can play these expensive things a little bit sooner. These expensive things play in part with the Behold mechanic, whether or not it's with Troll Ravager, Troll Scavenger, Augur of the Old Ones. These get some kind of bonus if we have an 8-cost card in play or in our hand. So, the idea being is if we're playing all these expensive cards and we actually want to play them before the game ends, then we should be using these ramp cards to make sure we get our mana a little bit quicker. And then the other way to kind of help us get that far into the game are with the AoEs, whether or not it is with Avalanche or with Icequake. Kind of the idea being that hey, we played this Troll Ravager. He now has Regenerate. That leaves us open to being able to play Avalanche. It's going to deal damage to everything, but then our Troll Ravager is going to regenerate the next turn. Kind of the idea going on between the two themes here. In my opinion, the ramp and the AOE's are kind of like competing with each other. It's not like super spectacular to play your Faces of the Old One on turn 2, have your 4 mana on turn 3, and just unload an avalanche, just kill all kill all your own stuff, kill the faces that you just played. But I think that is pretty reasonable to just manage your way into turn 4, drop a Troll Ravager that just shuts down all the combats from that point forward, and then just be kind of moving along from there. And so we'll see how this pans out. There are some like kind of branches that this can go, but if we're into this pool, I feel like the actual key cards here are your avalanches and your icequakes, and then you can kind of fill in from that point forward. We can find replacements for a Troll Ravager if we find a Bull Elnic, sure, they're going to do pretty similar things. There are no replacements for Avalanche and Icequake, and so if we end up on the control deck side of things, these AoEs are super important to find. Or if we end up doing kind of Battle Scars things, Battle Scars being where you get some kind of bonus out of dealing damage to your own units, these cards will play out there as well. But in general, um, I think you either have to jump towards the avalanches, you have to jump towards the ramp, and just pick one. You don't really want to be in a situation to where, I call it. It's the Ron Swanson principles of drafting, is to where you don't want to half-ass multiple things. You want to whole-ass one thing, and I think that really applies here, as to where you either have to be whole-assing the ramp strategy, you have to whole-ass the AOE strategy. You can't just be doing a little bit of both. And so we're diving in on Trundle here. Let's see what we're offered up here. Well, it is the full set between Karma and Trundle, the double Enlightenment pool, if that's the way that we wish to go with it. The card I'm immediately looking at is just Leona. This is not a super ideal Leona pack, but this is far and away the best, one of the best card pools here. I'm just my problem with this Enlightenment Karma is, we want it to be good. If you're thinking of taking the partner pairing, you just kind of assume it should be good, but there's just like actual nothing going on in this card pool. Like like if we look at these cards, like what are we supposed to be doing? It's like you can kind of see the idea. You've got life steal, you've got life steal, you got a health potion. These should be able to kind of like stall out the game for a little bit until we get to our big payoff cards. But there's just like no payoff cards here. Or is the whole idea just like stalling the game out until we get to 10 mana so we can play a Karma and then play Insight of the Ages and draw 4 spells? Like, I don't know. That's a game plan. Like what else can we say that beyond, that's a game plan? At least like if we look at the Trundle side of this pool, there's She Who Wanders and War Mother's Call in the epics, and then at least there's Usgar. Like there are big things that you can do when you get to full mana or pretty close to full mana from the Freylord side. But like if we go over to Karma, like she's what we want to be to be activating at full mana. But if we're going to be, is that the wrong Karma? Yeah. Um, but so we've got our Karma Enlightened. Like, what are we supposed to be casting? Like, we can cast Health Potion to heal 6. We can cast Whimsy on the same unit twice, which doesn't do anything. We can cast Shadow Flare in combat twice, which doesn't do anything. And then we can Deep Meditation for these spells that we just noticed that don't do anything. Or we can play Inside of the Ages. Like, what are you doing? What? Okay, like that's just garbage. We aren't doing that. And so, rant aside, we aren't going to play with Karma. Um, this Gangplank, the Gangplank does pair off well with like Sejuani, and Trundle can do kind of similar things and just being kind of like a big bruiser to close out the games. But not having Overwhelm is kind of a pain. Like, yes, he can get Overwhelm. Like if he plays Ice Pillar, then his flip has Overwhelm. But I'm not like real convinced that like the cards that we're really looking for, like when I play like Sejuani Gangplank, we're really looking for just all the Overwhelm dudes. And so you want like the 3/3 Poro, you want like your Alpha Wild Claws to a degree. It's just these cards don't exist within the Trundle pool. So we're just kind of going with the raw power pick here in Leona. This can kind of pan out in two different ways. We can pull up the and see what I'm talking about. Solar Winds. It was Solar Winds, right? Not the other one. Yeah, Solar Winds. And so there's typically two things that you can do with Leona. You can either try to go in on invokes, which they did just remove some of the invokes here. The only one exists here is the Priestess. Would have to find the all of the other ones out of. Oh, there's a sketcher as well, but you have to find the other invokes out of just kind of wild picks and such, which is possible. They did just mention in the patch notes that they are making it. They reduced the number of invokes that appear in your trade picks, and so if we started with like Otherworldly Journeys Trundle, then maybe we could kind of count on more invokes showing up. But I think we're going to have to kind of look at that as a plan B. The kind of plan A that I really prefer with Leona is that I think the Shield Bearer and the Soldier are just absolutely bonkers cards. I think they're way too good for Expedition, and they play out extremely well with just everything Leona's trying to do and everything Trundle's trying to do. When you're able to, even on like turn 5 or turn 6, just adding a 3/6 to the board can easily shut down your opponent's 6-drop and just buy you so much time to either continue onto the ramp things with Trundle or just, give you time to get your big boys like Ravoon down. It's just both of these two cards are spectacularly overtuned, in my opinion. And I think they're the keys to any Leona deck. And even if we're going to end up just doing. Uh, like ramp stuff with Trundle, they'll play extremely well there. But so if we're looking to build around Leona, we're either going to deck A, we'll be looking for is Invoke. Deck B, we'll be looking for is Leona Daybreak build around, centered on Solari Shield Bearer, Solari Soldier. If we do end up in that deck, then Ravoon becomes extremely important to pick up. He's fine in the other decks because a 5/5 for 5 that draws a card is good enough. But having this additional Daybreak ability is it's always day for us, as it says down here at the bottom, is just extremely important to have as far as continuing to hit these Daybreaks to level up your Leona and get some additional value out of them. And so we'll kind of see how this pans out. I don't super feel like Trundle is like a real build around deck. If you just play a whole bunch of ramp cards, you have to have something to ramp to. But it is kind of possible, especially if we pick up a lot of the cheaper units within Solar Winds here. So we're taking the Leona. Let's see how this pushes forward. It's really unfortunate. Like if we really wanted to dive in on the Trundle side here, it's kind of tempting with otherworldly creatures if we were going to look to build towards Invoke. But like they added Tall Tales in here, and I get why they did it, but I hate that this has to be a thing. They decided that otherworldly creatures was too good of a card pool. I guess they couldn't quite adjust the card quality to the amounts that they wanted to make it bad, so they just added in a 100% unplayable card. Like I don't know. I don't know if I want to call it lazy or if this was the best of a worse scenario, but not really stoked about how this was approached, especially seeing this happen on the Freylord side. Like if this happened on the Aurelian Soul side, which it did, they added like Stellacorn to the Aurelian Soul deck, which is just 100% garbage as well. Like I get it with Targon, they only have like 40 or 60 cards or whatever are in existence at this point. You don't have a lot of options. You can do better than Tall Tales. Like this just feels I don't want to call it lazy. I'm sure that a lot of time went into this decision on Riot's end, but this feels extremely lazy to me. But nonetheless, it looks like we'll probably be pushing down the Solar Winds plan. I'm not like real stoked to be picking up White Flame Protectors, but they're fine. We just end up with we're going to have 3 Leonas. We're going to have to really be mindful of our curve, especially starting out with Battle Fury Usgar. And so I'm not like really excited to be picking up 4-drops. Really not excited to be picking up a 6 and an 8. But the Shield Bearer is exactly what we're looking for here. Okay. Interesting set. If we, I'm kind of half tempted to pick up the Invoke card. It's tough. Like we could just go for it, like with the Moon Dreamer, but I think again we just want to be taking these Shield Bearers. Pretty happy to have these Solar Winds packs just keep showing up, and just dive fully in on the Daybreak build around side of Leona. Okay, all right, it continues. The invoke that we were looking for here is the priestess is good. Sun Guardian is an extremely good invoke. We'll just continue, or a daybreak. Pretty happy to pick up a double daybreak here. We're at this stage, we're just going to fully build around this. We will be looking for some utility out of the Freylord side, we'll love to pick up like a Harsh Winds, or maybe we'll pick up a reasonable Epic or something. This is a pack here we're going to have to take, which is it's okay. You know, we're never going to be activating Kinku Wayfinders. Highwayman's garbage, Ice Yeti's garbage, Shatter is ultra garbage, and so this is at least a playable 2-drop along with a Scar Maiden Reaver. It's not exactly what we're looking for, but it is powerful enough. And here is the kind of like ultimate deal breaker for me as to why I think these cards are just too ridiculous. We're gonna just take these over Harsh Winds. Uh, in my opinion, we talk about like a lot of what is like the best card in a set or in a faction. Like I fully believe Neverglade Collector is the best Shadow Isles card. Pretty sure Harsh Winds is just the best Freylord card. You can make an argument for things like the Tusk Raider. There's some epics that give it a chance, but in general, Harsh Winds is just the best Freylord card, and we're willing to just take this double stack of Daybreak 1 and 2 drops. It's just these are so incredibly powerful. If we're able to get like 4 and 4, it's just like such an incredibly powerful set of units to have. Okay, this one's kind of interesting. Um, like the where our deck is kind of lacking now is we want more Solari soldiers. We want to pick up one Zenith Blade. We have to take Ravoon. We'll take Ravoon with a Tall Tales if that's what it takes to get him in our deck. But then, from that point forward, we just kind of like need ways to interact with our opponents. Our top end is pretty well covered here. Our curve, it looks kind of gross, but it's okay for this stage of the run. And so all we're really looking for here now is we want a Zenith Blade. We'll take Ravoons at all ends or at all costs, and then we want some interaction. So, I mean, Stalking Wolf can interact. The Yeti is okay. The card that here was I was kind of interested in is Entreat. Because if we pick up more Solari soldiers, then we can kind of do this thing to where we play soldier on 1, shield bearer on 2, soldier on 3, and then entreat and hopefully hit our Leona. But that sounds kind of magical Christmas landy. I think we just want to take the interactive unit here along with the Yeti. Okay, well, not a lot going on here. In the Enlightenment theme, I do think that Wolf Rider is pretty unplayable. You just don't have enough early game plays going on to where you ever hit the plunder. But in this kind of deck, to where we do have some early game dudes here in the Solaris and the Wolf and such, we could potentially actually pop this Wolf Rider. But I do want to ensure that we have a second Zenith Blade, and so we will take it with the White Flame Protector here, even though he's not a unit that we were super excited to pick up. And here, this is kind of interesting. Like I do always want to have one Morning Light in my decks. Yes, it's like Leona's flip card, but I think it's good enough to include one copy, especially when it just you just win so many games with this when it just stuns your opponent's entire team. You typically just win games whenever you play for Demacia, but when you play for Demacia that also stuns your opponent's entire team, it's pretty bonkers. And so it's kind of awkward passing on Sunburst. I think we'll be able to pick up like one. As far as these Leona decks go, I am kind of okay with playing like 2 or 3 of these. There's a lot of decks where I'll only play one. Like if we're in a Diana deck, I'll typically only want one Sunburst, but here we'll play multiples if they show up. But I think we want to take this Shield Bearer Morning Light. I think it's just kind of a testament to how good I think these the early game Solaris are, and I do want to get one copy of Morning Light before this run is over. So we'll just kind of have to skip over the Sparkle Ologist a little bit there. Here, easy set of Priestess and Zenith Blade. We'll go ahead and snatch those up. These other packs down here are just all around pretty weak. Okay. Oh, 1-drop Solari. That makes it easy. I was like, okay, a decision, and 1-drop Solari. That's fine. More than happy to pick him up here. Okay, here's a Sunburst. I think we have to take it. I'm kind of tempted to just take the Omen Hawk pack. I think these play out pretty well with what we have going on here. I'm never like a huge fan of shared spoils, but it's fine. Omen Hawk is spectacular, but even just giving our our units just a little bit of a boost just grinds up so much advantage onto the board. But I don't think we can leave. If we're able to just get out of the draft with one sunburst, I'll be pretty happy with that. Whereas, I'm not going to lose any sleep over not having any Omen Hawks in my deck, but we'll be kind of upset if we make it out without a sunburst. Okay, well, the Omen Hawk showed up again if that's what we want to do. Here we got our one Morning Light, so I don't want this one. This is a pretty powerful set of combat tricks, though. And so I believe these are who we want to be taking. We've gotten like a little light on spells. It says we have 8, but 3 of them are Zenith Blades, and so it's not quite as much spells as it actually looks like. And so I think we'll be happy to pick up some of this early and mid game interaction. It might be a mistake to let these 2 go, but I think we want to get the spells moving here. And with these, it's kind of interesting. We'll get a scroll down. I don't want the Zenith Blade. We don't need 4 Zenith Blades. That's an easy one to skip over. And then I also don't want to trade out this 2-drop for a 6. It's too important to have the early game. The one I'm interested in here is the White Flame Protector for Alpha Wildclaw. We have 4 White Flame Protectors. Like, we never need 4 of these. And so it's like, are we willing to just push up the curve a little bit? We don't need to, but I don't think it'll hurt to. I think that's actually pretty close. Like, we currently just have 2 kind of top indie units plus Trundle. We also have Scar Maiden Reaver. I think I'm gonna let the Alpha Wildclaw go. And here's kind of the reasoning: is I feel like what's going to happen more times than not is if we're wanting to get this kind of big overwhelm effect, we can get it with Zenith Blade. And so what I'm trying to think to myself is in these situations to where, say, we would draw 2 White Flame Protectors, or would we rather draw a White Flame Protector and an Alpha Wildclaw? I think I'd probably just rather draw the 2 White Flame Protectors every time. And so I think I'm going to skip over this one. I do think this is a pretty close trade. Kind of like the other thing that was playing in the back of my mind there was we're certainly going to pick up 2 more Leonas, and so we're going to have 7 4-drops. We're going to have 3 Leonas and 4 White Flame Protectors. It's way too much, but does it make our situation any better to trade out a 4 for a 6? Not really. And so I think it's kind of tough. It is important to recognize our 4-drop slot is kind of fucked right now, but we're looking to make that better. And I don't think picking up a 6-drop is what makes that better. We either want to be swapping those protectors out for cheaper cards, or we want to be swapping them out for spells. Okay. Cool with how this turned out. I guess another thing that I should have called out with the when I was kind of looking at the Alpha Wildclaw in regards to top end, I do have 2 of the Daybreak Invoke, the guarantees a 4/5 or a 6, and so we didn't pick up any of the Invoke, the general invokes. We saw the 2 Moon Dreamers, and we didn't go down the path of taking Invoke cards, but I think that turned out okay. I think I messed up my sound too. Hang on a second. There we go. I think that fixed it. And this, I think it's we're certainly trading out Sunburst. I think we want to trade out Zenith Blade as well. It's pretty close. I think I'd rather just have any unit than Zenith Blade though. Okay, well that's what a curve looks like.
Bless the faithful and sear the heretics. Punish transgressions.
I think, against some decks there's an argument to not want to be playing this dude here.
Fight or die.
I don't think it quite applies in this matchup that we're in here. We're certainly going to be the aggro against a Trundle Aurelian Soul deck if you're if you're familiar with the term being the aggro, against a lot of decks, we are actually going to be the more defensive, controlling kind of deck, but that's not going to be the case against this the Trundle Aurelian Soul deck. We're going to be the one opening up and doing the attacking. Here, that's close. I think we just want to take the Comet. I was trying to think of how this, like, if we actually even wanted to just be playing Zenith Blade here, because adding this one guy doesn't add a whole lot to the board. But I think all that really scares me here is if, say, he plays like a Trundle. If he adds Trundle this turn, it's a bit of a problem. He's going straight up to 7 mana. So I think the way we're going to have to try to look at this game is he's going to play something huge here. We're going to play White Flame Protector. We're going to open attack on him. We're going to try to win the attack with Fury of the North. And then on his next turn, we'll obliterate whatever he plays. And then we'll just have to try to win with the next open attack. Well, we won't open, we'll have a Sun Guardian. But I think that's how we're going to have to approach this. And then, if he gets cute and puts his Trundle in front of like a White Flame Protector or one of these smaller units, then we can just pass on playing Fury of the North.
Leave nothing standing.
We have to get these damages in here. Wouldn't be surprised to see him start putting bases in front of some of our units.
Nothing's tougher than a troll.
Okay. It's not unreasonable for him to get out of this. We should have perhaps just Furied one of these other units, but I think we're still going to be on this kind of same game plan where we're just going to obliterate whatever he plays. Oh, that's choice. That was choice, getting his Trundle out of here. Sure. Just a protector with all this mana? Oh, he's got 2 cards. Okay. So I don't think we're going to just be able to like plow in and kill him here. He's got way too many blockers. We can try to Zenith Blade up some of our dudes, but don't think it's going to be quite enough to just to carry across. We can also just play like 2 Zenith Blades this turn and try to get some overwhelms going. Oh boy, let's see how big of a heal this is. +7, or was that +10? Oh god, he just has Aurelion Soul in his hand? Yep. Okay. Alright, we'll pass. We have to be banking this mana anyways. Like, if he just passes back, it seems pretty okay. But I mean, we're gonna have to play a spell on Aurelion Soul and then obliterating next turn.
Hello, Runeterra.
All right, we don't have the mana to some. Oh, it's an ally. Oh god. Don't. Can we ever just? No, we can't just win around this. Oh, this game might have just gotten out of reach. I thought we were going to be able to Sunblessed Vigor, but that's not the case. Okay, well. Ugh. Let's see how this goes. At least his board is fairly weak here. Hopefully we have enough to survive this for a few rounds. Yep. He has like a Bastion or something, this game's just over. Like if we have to invest 12 mana into his Aurelion Soul to have it get it aced by 3, we're just done.
Now they'll pay attention.
I guess no game is just done when you have Battle Furies in your deck, but this is certainly not an ideal situation. Sure. Seeing him pick that up as an invoke is pretty good for us. But which one is this? This is elusive. Yeah, elusive fury spell shield. We can kind of play around this thing, but we are in this spot. Well, we can't even get a battle fury kill in this game. Uh, We're 7, 10. Wait, I don't. This is awkward. I think we have to battle fury. He's just giving me the options. Friend.
I'll take everything.
What is it, 2? Okay, we have to be greedy. Like, what else are we going to do this game? I don't think we have enough overwhelmed to just to push through here, but let's see. We're going to have 11 plus 8, 21 overwhelm. Yeah, he can easily put 6 health in front of what we're doing. Maybe he'll make a creative play and put this thing in front of something.
The Winter's Claw!
I don't think we have an answer to this thing. Okay, he didn't get creative enough. We'll just call it here. I mean, maybe we should have just. I don't know. I don't know if we should have just gone all in into his Aurelian Soul. It seems a little. It's kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. Like, we're never going to outvalue him, and so that's why I'm kind of okay with just spending the 2 cards on Aurelian Soul. Maybe we should have just tried to get into combat with it. We did waste a lot of time and resources trying to spend spells on it, but as he just like adds at random invoke cards into his hand, like even if his invoke card is just the messenger, if he's just adding in a cheap blocker every turn, it really just like destroys what we're able to do. Like, we really have to have Leona to be able to deal with that. But I don't know, that was one of these games where he drew 2 champions and we drew 0, and so maybe if we got to play that game 10 times, we would win 8 of them, as opposed to the game where we just run into the our 0 champions. But nonetheless, interesting set here. I think we want to hang on to Stalking Wolf. Then we got some real choices down here. The Infinite Mind Splitter is a big deal. She Who Wanders is also a big deal. This isn't a deck that I don't feel like it fully takes advantage of She Who Wanders. Kind of okay to let it go and just pick up the Mind Splitter. It's real close. She's so good at just annihilating all matter of decks. It's like we just don't have a whole lot that survives it. You have to note it does say followers, so it doesn't kill your allies, but or I'm sorry, it doesn't kill your champions, but we don't have a lot of allies that survive it. Like Usgar survives, Ancient Yeti would be trading out. Sun Guardian only survives if if we spent 16 mana that turn. We can technically put like our White Flame Protectors can get big enough. Zenith Blade can kind of help with these. Maybe it's kind of thing, but we also don't have any ramp cards, and so I don't think I really want this. I think I'm okay with just picking up the Mind Splitter here. Okay. Biz Sejuani, the littles and the bigs. It should be a raiding party style deck. I would assume that this is built around Sejuani and doing things with plunders. But here, we'll keep Leona in these 0-win matches where we have one copy of the champion. I think it's ultra important to keep. Picking up the priestess is huge here. If we're able to hit another one of our 1 or 2 drop Daybreaks and just drop her on turn 4 flip, so powerful. Cool.
Fight or die.
Bless the faithful and sear the heretics.
Nice. So we'll trade these for any combat trick. So let's go ahead and get them both in there. I don't see a real reason to add this priestess into this. But you know, if we trade his 1-drop for a elixir of iron or whatever. Oh, we're getting double Make It Rains? Okay. Sure. So two cards for 2 cards, but we got 2 mana cheaper out of it. That works for me. Interesting. I think we want to just grind here. There's an argument to take the Comet, but I think his deck should have a tough time dealing with Leona.
Bask in her radiant blessing.
And so, the only way his deck should be able to deal with Leona is on the Bilgewater side. There's Scrap Shot, and then they have a variety of ways to add cards that give whatever the vulnerable.
With its light, the
So,
will unite behold the divine
I think this is good. We have this monster of a unit we can add next turn. Just get a big 3/6 going. I don't know, it feels pretty good.
Splendor revealed.
Sure. As it stands here, I don't think we're quite ready to get her into combat. I think we probably just want to add in the Traveler. It doesn't feel like we should really be attacking here. We're just going to add a unit. Like, if we invoke, are we ever going to play the invoke? If we want to play a unit just to get into combat, then we want to add White Flame Protector. There's a chance we play the invoke. Here, I think we'll take the Falling Comet.
Let my stars guide all travelers.
Can't get too greedy here whenever he adds Sejuani next turn. Okay, works for me. The Battle Fury to protect our Leona.
Unyielding light. Glorious light rains down.
Yeah, this seems fine. I'm pretty content with just adding units to the board, and then trying to play Morning Light 2 turns from now. Sure, so pop him into deep. Yeah, it's a way to get through a Solari Shield Bearer. It's actually pretty relevant here when we're trying to Morning Light this guy, but this is okay. Okay, do we ever have an attack here? I don't think so. We don't need to rush out and just start stunning things. But we don't really have any plays beyond just adding White Flame Protector. So let's go ahead and cycle through these. We're not attacking this turn.
Forged with blessed sunlight.
Sure.
Welcome.
Okay.
The treasure was in me the whole time.
This is kind of the typical problem you run into with sea monsters now is you know, he's got this 8/8 that we can just block with a block with a value unit. We have so much time against what they're doing. I mean, it seems pretty legit to just be getting like Usgar down and pushing forward. Like a dude, you have to be kind of mindful of what he's doing, because we don't want to just be
The winter's claw.
like getting our Leona blown out here. So we might have to, you know, falling comet something. But all in all, this seems pretty good
Leave
for
or
us.
burn.
Is this what you seek?
I feel safe
I
blocking
will
with
protect
Leona.
you.
We can Battle Fury, should we need to. Do we just straight up win the combat? Okay. I'm not even afraid of getting hit by like an avalanche here. I think we're good to just add Usgar and move forward.
King loves battle.
Just lines up perfectly here. Being able to open Zenith Blade on our Usgar, stun his big unit here, and then get a big overwhelm attack in next turn with the Battle Fury backup. Okay.
Hey there.
Sure.
Don't mind the knife.
What did we get?
Okay.
A beam of light to pierce the heavens.
Uh-oh, got the warning shot. Plunders are happening. Sure. I was trying to see. It's like, well, we can Battle Fury Usgar onto a 1 and just try to kill him. I think it's a little early in the game to be trying to get that fresh, but I think this is okay.
Trollland.
I think if we have to Battle Fury Usgar, because he's played some kind of combat trick or some damage spell, pretty okay with it. And then if we untap with our Usgar, it's just huge, huge, huge.
So pretty.
Or just do this. Let's see if he spends some mana. It's okay.
Trolls survive.
Spin, spin, spin. You win.
His attacks here are abysmal. It's kind of awkward on that previous turn what we did there, you know, just passing with the 8 mana, but like we don't want to be like if we Battle Fury and then he has Scrap Shot, we just lose. And so I shouldn't say we lose, but we're in a pretty bad spot if that manages to happen. It's nice just to play it safe there.
Daylight is unrelenting, but not eternal.
What you got, friend? Big decision here. Oop. Interesting choice, sure. Play this and keep Battle Fury mana up, right? It seems like how bad can this go? Like, why would he ever hit the Traveler? Does he just want to draw a card? Because his play attack with Powder Monkey, hook the Traveler. Okay,
Bow to no
here's
one.
Sejuani. We can give her non-health. This is okay.
Stand and fight. I'll be quick.
And Battle Fury. He can get out of this, but this is a good chance that this is just a monstrous, overwhelming play onto him. Yeah.
Return anew.
Well fought.
Cool. What else are you supposed to say there? Cool. Alright, it doesn't matter what's in the packs, we're taking the Leona one. We certainly want 3 Leonas in this deck. Hopefully it plays to our deck's weaknesses. Waiting for my rewards. Does it think we lost? Our opponent totally just conceded. What? What? And okay. Alright, cool. Well, this is everything we want out of Leona here, is another Shield Bearer and a second Sunburst. That's we were taking it regardless of what was there, and that's just kind of everything our deck needs, so that was a pretty good set. Okay. Pretty happy with how this has come together. We certainly need some Ravoons. I've talked a bit about how I think, you know, the branches of good Leona decks look. And the very top tier of that is, does it have Ravoon? And if it doesn't have Ravoon in it, then it's just automatically like a bottom tier Leona deck. But here we can keep our one. Good to get rid of the rest of this. This should just be like a Battle Scarsy kind of deck. I don't think these play out like super well with
Raise your weapon, Sunwood.
with Swain Trundle, but we'll see how this pans out.
Follow the horizon.
Come on, bud. This guy didn't have kitties on his side, as far as we know. So
Ain't nothing left when I'm done.
we should be safe. Okay. Interesting. How greedy can we get? I think fairly. Let's continue on that greed. There's an argument there to take Written in the Stars because it guarantees us to pick up Leona, but I think against this deck that can generate some amounts of value, then we should just be taking our value cards here. And with this, are we intent on protecting any of these? We probably need to. I don't want to just be like fully behind on board next turn. So at least let this guy live. It's not like a super like high value keep here, but the way I'm looking at this is our opponent is most certainly the aggro in this situation. We have a hand that plays extremely well to the late game when we have the Traveler, the Trundler, 2/8 drops, a spell that generates more copies of this spell. The longer this game drags on, the better shape we should be in.
Plenty of killing left.
And so it's unfortunate he had a 1 here. I was kind of hoping that his turn was going to have to be, you know, if I want to open, my open is with Crackshot Corsair. But he had the dude, and we're still in a pretty safe spot here. We're about to start outclassing all of the units he plays for the rest of the game. That was weird. It was like wasn't quite lit up. Okay, well, let's keep this value train rolling.
Didn't
Sure.
know the boss had said for ye.
Don't know much, do ya?
The trolls are going to war!
Okay. So, well, I'm going to plan on attacking. Let's see what he does. It's hard for him to play cards that change my opinion on the matter.
Press forward.
Oh, he's got some kind of powerful trick here. If it's something that like if you know it's like a mystic shot, then I don't care. But okay, he doesn't risk the unit. The elusive is a touch of a problem here. It's going to take us a bit of time to deal with it. That's fine. We're taking another big blasting, but like he's out of cards. So as long as we kind of just keep playing, oh buddy, as long as we keep playing ultra defensively here, we should be relatively okay. Why he doesn't attack with this? That seems like a pretty big mistake. This is never getting blocked. Maybe that point of damage is what pulls it through for us in the end here. And as far as these units go, I'm good to go ahead and play the Traveler. We can continue traveling if we want, but at this point I think we have enough value. I just want to take the free unit and take my hook where we can get it. Because we're going to play Stalking Wolf, we're going to play the Serpent. The plan is to Morning Light our team and then take down his 2 elusive units. And then from that point forward we should hopefully be okay. So let's just go ahead and get another dude on the board.
Unyielding light.
Not worried about daybreaking multiple times here.
Keep searching.
Okay, let's see if he takes that 10 bomb. Ooh, love seeing blocks here. Love seeing blocks. Right, any attacker we can get off the board is just huge for us at this point, and so even that 1 damage, you know, as it stands, he's kind of missed out on 2 damage up to this point. You know, that can be all it takes to lose the game. We just gotta block big boys here.
Reconsider.
We're gonna lose this either way. Might as well put this in front of the smaller damage.
Run while you can.
Okay, and then how does this look for next turn? The thing I'm looking to do here is bank 3 spell mana and then Battle Fury Zenith Blade next turn. And so I think we can do all of this. We can play the Reaver. Does that kill us? That probably kills us, doesn't it? I guess it depends on how they fall. We're probably dead.
I wasn't strong enough.
It's unfortunate. Not sure. We could have always played that a little bit differently. We went super greedy on a lot of our plays, but we didn't really have the opportunities to go wide. Interesting with the Bastion, but I think we want to be picking up one of these Solaris, and I think we actually just want the 1-drop here. We already have 5 of the 2-drop, which is fine. I think the 1-drop is just way better than Ruthless Raider. Okay, so I think this is coming together pretty well. We've kind of bounced back and forth here in the early game. You know, we ran into Riptide Rex in that one. I feel like we won that one. The vast majority of the time. You know, he was playing towards Riptide Rex, sure, but nonetheless, here let's keep Leona. Not a great start. We're playing our 8 Solari early game god deck, and Mulligan 3 into a full miss is kind of painful. Was this game playing Teemo? Kind of painful. Yeah. All right. Well, let's see if we can recover here. At least he didn't have an additional play. All right, there's a guy. Just taking 4 is okay. We have to be adding units here. Sure. Okay. It's not a super impressive ad. What's this Gangplank Teemo? He's gonna be getting his Gangplank upgraded, that's for sure. Bonk. This guy's not getting kitty headbutts either. So I don't think we quite want to add Leona here. I just want to add White Flame Protector. since it's probably going to be getting good combats. There's also a reasonable chance that we're going to Sunblessed Vigor our protector. Whatever it takes to get his guys off the board and keep us having board, I'm pretty content with. But thank you.
I've always been a fun guy.
The coral creatures. Okay. He can open on us for a bit of damage here, but I think we're about to turn the corner on this game. I just don't want to take damage. This is fine. It feels bad moment to be trading off this this boosted White Flame Protector for just a few points of damage. But the only way we're ever losing this game is if we get greedy with our life total. Just real not worried about what he's doing otherwise. Here, I'm not real worried about sunbursting this or daybreaking this sunburst. He's never going to be able to protect this gangplank. There is an argument that we didn't want to risk him flipping in case he's playing multiple gangplanks and not playing multiple Teemos, and so if he was able to pop us for a point of damage before with say he had like parlay or something to drop a point of damage in. I guess it doesn't matter in this argument because his gangplanks always stay flipped. But here, I'm pretty content to just hook his powder keg with a Scarmaiden Reaver, and we'll call it a day here. Our board is getting much better than his. If he wants to open for this full 3 damage to lose his whole board, pretty okay with that. And I think we'll be taking over from this point forward.
Oh, if mushrooms could
I'm going to add Leona. I want to prevent him from attacking here. She can get flipped the next turn. It doesn't super matter, but to go ahead and stop this attack here, when he's getting 2 Puffcat Peddlers on board, I do have to start worrying about what's going to happen to our life total. Yeah, he's just going face now. We gotta end this quick.
There's only one true light.
Sure.
Come face me.
All right, let's see if we can beat the old monkey business deck. Okay, I think what I'm looking to do here, we want to be protecting this Leona. I want to get another Zenith Blade because these overwhelms are going to be reasonably important in actually closing these games out. And then I'm going to Sunburst down one of his Puffcat things. And what we'll be looking to I gotta remember drawing cards can be scary. We'll be looking to is this even worth it? Would we rather just play Trundle? Just to get a dude on board. He's gonna have Overwhelm next turn. I kinda like this.
The trolls are going to war!
We can just override an Ice Pillar if it comes down to it.
Answer to me.
I do want to keep our blockers. We can't add anything else to the board here, and so if he's able to get wider than us, then we're just going to be guaranteed to take damage. And so these aren't adding any value here. So we're getting in with our 2 Overwhelms. We're getting in with our unit he has a tough time killing. Good. Now, if we're able to fade the direct damage here, then we should just be able to kill him with sunbursts or overwhelms. Okay, let's just start with Ice Pillar.
It's always cold.
It's gonna flip our Trundle and give us a big blocker.
Hail to the king!
And the kind of the other thing with it is I don't want to be daybreaking the Zenith Blade. Drawing any additional cards is kind of scary at this point. This seems real spewy.
In pursuit.
Okay. Sure. Alright, let's just get stats on board now.
A beam of light to pierce the heavens.
This is just a non-bow, isn't it? Just gotta get popped with this, and then we're just gonna hit it with. Okay, we're just gonna hit it with our Leona stun.
Fueled by holy light.
All right, so let's see if he has the removal spell. If the Mystic Shot, he got a Mystic Shot or get excited, then we lose. Otherwise, we should win.
There's plenty of killing left.
I'll knock 'em dead.
Burn away doubt.
Would a mushroom help? I'm a peddler, not a meddler.
See, we're just getting slow rolled here.
What's that you got there?
Okay.
Soul Invictus.
So yeah, not having these Ravoons really hurts here, but let's see. See if we can find one before we get to the final battle here. I mean, I don't hate it, but I think I'm okay with keeping Trundle if one of these other trades looks better. I think I'm pretty happy to pick up a Sunburst for this Protector. We don't need 4 of these. I'd rather have 3 Sunburst, 3 Protector than 4 and 2. So we'll go ahead and swap this out. Okay. See how dead we would have been if we didn't put that White Flame Protector in front of his Powder Monkey? Let's see. Just about not taking the damage there. Just don't take him. Alright. So hopefully that was our high variance game where we just don't have our early game Solaris. Hopefully these dudes just show up on time the rest of the run. They're showing up on time and in force this game. Sure. And Zed, was it? Is Zed Thresh?
My faith protects me.
That egg, did it move?
Let's go ahead and get it out of here. Yes, this does feel kind of awkward in that it boosts up his Bark Beasts, but in my experience in these decks that are probably playing Blightsteel or Blighted Caretaker, you just kind of want to do whatever you can to get these early game turds off the board and make them be sacrificing real units into their Blighted Caretakers. And no, just going full spider on us. I mean, it's kind of get the cards either way. Just okay.
Clad in shining sunlight.
Doesn't seem like a good use of Fury of the North. Can do a little better than that.
My faith protects me.
Okay. the old hookarooski on here. Sure, this looks fantastic to me. Like we're doing good work here.
There's nowhere to hide.
Can we do both? Yeah. Let's go ahead and level up this thing. Then we can still Fury of the North here if we want. We don't get to play our Scar Maiden Reaver this way, but this does make it look like we aren't doing as much just like shady things into this Thresh, and it does give us the opportunity to Fury of the North him down.
Like a worm.
Pretty good for us. I'm not gonna lie, this seems like a pretty good board state to have. You flipped. Okay, well, stunning spider is not super exciting, but we have access. Like when you're at this stage here, like we're just kind of in this spot now. Let's say he plays a unit that we can interact with the Stalking Wolf. If he never gets wider than this, then we're in this spot with the Zenith Blade chain, to where if he just plays like an on-curve card, we can just stun it every turn. It's a real rough spot for this guy to be in. Don't want to play your Twin Disciplines? That'd have been a great Twin Disciplines in my opinion. Sure. Works for me. As long as he's not getting ahead of us on board, I don't super care about what's happening here.
Lady Elise?
Yep.
Where are you?
We're not even worried about the stun. Let's just add the Reaver now. We'll still play Zenith Blade afterwards, but I mean, you can see where he's trying to get cute here to play his real unit behind. All right, I'm going to choose to not care. We're going to act like we'll be blocking this with Leona, but I'll really just try to put Shield Bearer in front of this if he attacks. And since he doesn't, I'm fully prepared to just Battle Fury into this thing.
Answer to me.
Please, I have connections.
Good game, friend. That was an awkward draw for the Cleffy. Okay. Regardless of the cards, we're going to be taking this Leona. Let's thoughts and prayers for Ravoon. Send your thoughts and prayers this way, right? That's how you get what you want. Hey, we did it. Fucking right. I know what's up. I know what's up, boys. All right. Thoughts and prayers to your eardrums if we got a little too excited there. It's just like the one piece that was missing from this deck. We got to find these Ravoons. All right. Always cool to hang on to these Ancient Yetis. Don't super want to keep Stalking Wolf. I mean, we probably have enough to where we can just mulligan away a 2. We have, let's see here, 3, 8, be 9 if we consider him being back in here. That's probably a little greedy to get rid of him.
No one's the wiser.
Okay. He plans on opening.
They'll never see it coming.
Cool. It's not like super ideal, but we have to add here. We don't have like spell mana plays, so cool. Didn't want to add his war chefs. This could be a legit attack here. I think we want the Golden Sister. I feel like we're probably falling behind a bit here. He didn't play a 2, but against what is probably a heavy Relentless Quinn, something that's going to be doing a lot of attacking, I think we're going to want to pick up Golden Sister. This is fine. We'll just... hang on, we should have hooked as 1. That's okay. Miss out on a... We're going to take an extra point of damage here.
Everything's in place.
The sun's out, the crowd's ready. Let's reckon!
Okay. I'm totally just blocking all the big... Oh, he just doesn't attack. Wow. Wow. Where do we stand here? We can't get Golden Sister down. Like, playing Leona's not, like, super exciting here. I think I probably just want to add Ancient Yeti. But if we're just going to add Yeti... Well, we can't do both because one of our mana is a spell mana. I caught myself before I just slammed this out here. Alright, well, I think I'm on board with this. We don't need to be in a hurry. Let's just try to manage his board as good as we can here. I think he probably just takes this 4. Or if this eats a combat trick here, I'm also okay with it. Like if his play is riposte. Or if his play, like, you know, he can...
Virtue guides me.
Oh, okay, she's big. Oh, now the question is, do we care about actually dealing with this right now? And I don't think we do. We can sunburst this at some point. But as it stands right now, we're not in any kind of, like, race. We don't really care about him gaining a whole bunch of health. So I think I'm pretty cool to just let this be for now. I want to snatch up this other Golden Sister.
My brethren.
It's like if you want to try to grind against the sisters, then you're more than welcome to. It's just what should be an overwhelming task for his deck. Kind of like it's a touch awkward given the makeup of our hand now, because like we have this big like Leona play that we've kind of built to with the Morning Light and redrawing more invokes off of the Priestess, and so we'll have to be like a little bit slower here in combat than I think we want to be, but
Banish the unworthy.
Behind ya.
let's see how this pans out. Well, I think we've gone to Value Town quite
Believe or
enough.
burn.
Let's just
Back
not
heretic.
die here and let the cards that we have take control. This is kind of an unfortunate block. Let's not do it. If we get hit with a back-to-back, I think I'm okay with it. If we get we're just on this slow grind here. Oh, I think that's beautiful for us. Beautiful. So now we do have the choice if we want to just like start making Leona plays onto this Radiant, or if we want to get the Golden Sisters going. We probably just want to get Golden here.
Now is one.
I'm pretty cool to just like open Sunburst this next turn. Maybe get a trade with this. All depends on like... There's our Sunburst target. We didn't get hit when we just did our Apprehend Darius run. I guess that was a couple runs ago now. But every time I've encountered Darius here recently, he's just gotten sunbursted like every single time. It's just gonna continue. We have to play the correct one. Do we want to do anything else other than this? Leaves us with 4 manas if we're going to do that. I think this is fine. Let's just go ahead and start getting our elusives in.
Just need a second.
And he's not even like ultra scary right here, but I'm not gonna risk it. I feel much better just not risking it here. And does she function like whenever? I don't think she like if we play her now and then get a flip next turn. I don't think she gets her her bonus cards. Don't want to run her into this thing anyways. Okay.
Mine is the hand of
Darius numero
Noxus.
dos. We probably want to get a sunburst here. This guy's a
Clad
reasonable
in
blocker
shining
against
sunlight.
all of his board.
I'll do better this time.
You will be scoured from this land.
Okay, yeah, this isn't a super scary Darius hit. He can hook whatever. We don't really care. Well, we're just blocking across the board. We'll put the big health in front of Darius here. We'll lose our elusive, but that's okay. This guy's never going to outground us.
They got past me.
We were two. My light! I am the bulwark against darkness! Our courage will never fade.
Get that stun. Oh, we didn't even Daybreak. It's okay. We're building up to this kind of like Sun Guardian play. I don't think we're going to go for it immediately here. I think I just want to bank 2 mana and then add both of these 2 units next turn. Stun is Darius. Get this in kind of a compromising position.
My faith protects me.
Sunlight blinds.
For the hand!
Interesting.
The light of my
Is he going to play a Reckoning on us? Should we have not added the Golden Sister?
One
Oh,
banner,
Bannerman. Okay.
one destiny.
Does that change anything? I feel pretty safe getting Leona in here. This can't block, this can't block. So if we attack with everything, this is good block here. This probably, if this wants to block to trade, it's on him. If he wants to block to bounce, he can go on Leona. If he blocks Leona, still looking to be short of lethal. Right, 8 plus 8 is 16. I did the mathematics.
Strike while the planets align.
I think we should probably just leave her behind.
Burn away doubt.
Defend our banner.
What I'm kind of envisioning now is we'll just play Sun Guardian
Hold
next
back
turn.
the darkness.
I mean, he can open on us. This doesn't look like a particularly juicy open, but it's something that he can do. And then the idea being is if he opens, fine. He can't kill us with an open. If he doesn't open, then we'll just get a stun onto his Darius. And then on our next turn, we should be getting a triple Daybreak Morning Light onto this guy.
Hit him where it hurts.
This is regular Decimate, not Darius Decimate.
Noxus will rise.
Yeah, how wrong does this ever go? I mean, we're 100% blocking here. Guess you have the next most health after.
I bow to no one.
Like we can technically block with Leona. I just don't think he ever, combat trick kills us here.
Strength
Maybe,
of the law.
maybe I'm wrong in that assessment, but it's hitting us for 10.
Witness true strength.
So now he needs 2 cards to kill us. I think we're okay.
Defend our sacred ways.
I don't think he's going to be coming at us with an atrocity.
Well, then, a fight's a cooking.
We will not suffer unbelievers.
They will not escape punishment.
Okay, so yeah, let's stun his team here. And get in for the big damages.
Sunlight burns in our weapons.
Eat up, friend.
Does that not work right without Ravoon? Activate all ally Daybreak effects once. What didn't... Maybe it only puts out 2 tokens because he only has 2 units. I don't know. Weird. So, okay, what do we got here? Don't want more Zenith Blades, don't want more Battle Furies. Spacey Sketcher. I don't like the Sketcher in a deck that can't generate cards. Like, we don't need like these early game things here. It can kind of like smooth out our curve, but our curve is kind of okay. Like, I'm still happy to get rid of more White Flame Protectors. We can swap out some of these. Like, I'm okay with swapping out Ancient Yeti, but I think our curve's in a reasonable spot. I'd really just like to be picking up more Solari Soldiers. I just don't think we want the Sketcher here. Like, if you're in, like Diana, and you're generating gems and you're generating Dust Petal Dusts, it just plays so much better than when you're discarding real cards to this. So I'm going to skip. Okay, that did get a little closer than I expected. I thought that those Golden Sisters were going to be like more than enough to just kind of grind through, but then it's like there's a point in that game where it's like he got like 2 cards in his hand. He's got like 6 here. Like, I don't know about this. but here, I think we can still hang on to Leona's. She's real borderline with me. I haven't like quite decided if I think I'm okay with this. It's just like our deck is pretty good at just going, 1, 2, 3, 4, and having Leona on 4 is just such a big advantage. So I think we should go for it when we get the chance. What is this? Supports. I'm certainly slamming into combat here. I don't think we should be making value plays at this moment.
Take a stance
Sure.
and hold it. Stand firm.
Interesting. Texas Tayari. Like the only time I could imagine wanting to do this is if he has like a Mountain Sojourners. Interesting. Regardless, I'm stunning whatever he plays. If he plays on curve and gets a stun here, this should be enough to just end the game. That's just how life goes when you're playing supports.
The power of the immortal sun. Glorious light rains down.
So I mean, you can you can attack with Tayari if you want. Okay. I think I'm cool to just keep Daybreaking. I don't see any reason not to. We have enough cards in our hand to just keep dropping a Daybreak every turn for the foreseeable future. So it's kind of worried if we should slow it down just a touch, but we'll get the these Leona stuns for the rest of the game now, which is a pretty big deal.
Scorching light. Unwavering strength.
He can't run combat against Leona. We can protect her with Sunblessed Vigor if we need to, but there's not any. He can like Pale Cascade, but we got the tricks. We really have two of these? That didn't seem right to me. Okay, and here I want to take down his Lulu. It just gets too awkward for us if he's able to give his Jeweled Protector 4 health again. So let's just go ahead and try to get her off the board. Like if he gives it 2 health with Tayari, okay. If he gives it 4 health with Lulu, it's a problem.
Glorious light rains down.
Master said will be pleased.
He's a big boy. It's like Leona's time to shine is ended.
My final test.
And he just doesn't hook? That has to be a mistake. Yes, I mean, you just be on that aggro plan.
Just begun.
Okay. So that's like 2 attacks away from being a real problem. Do we need to just be invoking now? I don't quite like that.
Defend our sacred ways.
Get this chunk in here. Like, I mean, there is a very real chance that we can't outrace this Yusari. I mean, the kind of the thought I had was that we could play Solari Priestess and look for a Obliterate. Since it only hits 4, 5s, or 6, you're extremely likely to hit Obliterates. I'm just not like real excited about that being our game plan against a deck that can have both Bastion and Deny. And we'll just go ahead and snap this off. We gotta protect our boy somehow. We gotta do something and keep our guys on board. That's not going to be enough to protect us from Yusari for the rest of the game.
No time to rest.
And then, how much do we care to ever Morning Light? That's probably how we just win this game, right? It was with Morning Light, so we have to hang on to Leona. Taking 9, he needs a +4 to kill us. We just take it. There is the comet.
Daylight warms the heart and lights the way. Behold the sun's holy light.
Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Okay. Well, one moment, please. Let's say this is going to be 6, 10, 18, 19, so we can just kill with Morning Light next round, or are we safer just playing Shield Bearer? And then I guess that if we're gonna have 9 + 3, 12, we can do both of these next turn. Let's add Shield Bearer. So we get additional damages this way. If he just puts another unit down, then we can get another stun onto his board. And then this way, if he has a deny, and he denies our Morning Light, then we can still Falling Comet this guy. So we're not just KO'd if this... oh, and it just happened. Okay. Probably just want another Falling Comet, right?
We rise!
Or he's just stunning too. I don't understand what I've missed.
Feel the sun's glory.
Do you have to have like Ravoon on the board for that, all those things to trigger and to fully hit? I don't. Okay, I think we're okay. Yeah, these cards are fine as long as we're able to drop one of these Falling Comets. I think we're fine.
Last light.
I'd feel particularly good if you just played like a Swole Squirrel. Sure. Like that's perfect. Yeah, but like, I thought, oh god, what's this? Okay, we can beat that. Oh my god, he's doing stuff.
The power of our order.
They'll never see me coming.
Pillage and burn.
We'll at least do a combat trick, but
Down from
at
the trees.
least he didn't have the
Off we go.
Bold, aren't you?
This is all highly suspect. This feels real spewy, like he's giving up. There's no two unit boost cards that he could be playing here.
Okay.
Only a scratch.
Okay. I think we do want to open with Morning Light. Get more boosts here. Get this. All right. I think we're good now.
I taste purple. Yay.
Set it all ablaze.
Yeah, that's how we want overwhelms.
Witness
Little cat,
glory.
big cat. Probably even want it like this.
My spirit shines.
Devotion through battle.
Okay, I figured out why the Daybreak thing was happening. It's I'm playing the card for the Daybreak, and then Leona's Daybreak's hitting. But I thought you got like all of them, like across the board. If you played Morning right, maybe if you have Ravoon in play. But I mean, my other Daybreaks are certainly triggering. I thought that was the way it used to work. Good game, friend.
Have faith.
We just have to remember it's two. It's 2 stuns. Maybe we'll draw Ravoon in one of these games and then be able to double check that. But I thought like all those Daybreaks are certainly happening. We were catching the invokes off of our guys. Our dudes were getting bigger. So interesting in Aurelion Soul. I haven't like fully been paying to how much attention to if we're getting up to 10 mana in these games. It just doesn't feel like ultra necessary to have Aurelion Soul, but like the middle of our curve is just like it's just full of so much stuff. Like we don't have a whole lot of opportunities to just play Trundle, but like we also well, we've been having like a little bit of trouble closing out these games. Not like a whole lot, but Trundle isn't like really helping close out these games. Seems like also a pretty easy flip in our deck. Then he does also make it easier to say get rid of Usgar, get rid of Ancient Yeti in our trade picks. I think our curve can support it. All right. Welcome to the team, Dragon. Right. Final battle. Feels like the mouse sensitivity got messed up. I don't know. I cleaned it out. It's flying across the screen. I gotta do a lot of high APM shit with this Leona deck, and I'm getting scared now. Shit. Nonetheless, let's keep the soldier. Look for better cards with these other ones. Alright, reasonable curve. The old ace goo. Either is or it isn't supposed to be ace goo. I mean, there's only two options, right? It's not sometimes ace goo. But cool. I mean, we just drew all the good cards in the game. How can this game ever go wrong when we just drew all the good cards?
My faith protects me.
I guess it is like technically a decision here. Drawing that Zenith Blade kind of sucks. I'm not a huge fan of drawing these. But I think I'm actually kind of cool with just dropping the blade here now. Let's kind of pull the last one out of our deck. Just what I suspect happens here frequently is he just plays a 3/3. And if the extent of his turn is playing a 3/3, I'm happy to just trade the Shield Bearer for actual anything. The Solari Soldier can combat actual anything that he can play here. He's also out of Brittle Steel range as well now, which is pretty cool. I'm not sure how much Noxus we're going to be running into here. I would say that we're more likely running into a Freylord heavy deck just because you can't build around Katarina. But, interesting. Okay, I'm still willing to trade. That's a bit unfortunate, but he's getting like a... I don't really want to call the Zenith Blade a whole card. It costs 3 mana. I mean, he traded 6 mana for 6 mana, which is pretty good. I'm just not sure who comes out the old champion on that end of the deal.
Unyielding light.
LOL. What a dumb... This is such a dumb card.
There's only one true light.
I think we're good to just open.
Burn away doubt.
You can play the Protector post combat. I think that's pretty reasonable. If he has a Brittle Steel or something here, we're fine with it. I just don't see any reason to add White Flame Protector and then he just plays something bigger. But we do need a little bit more juice here. We need something. Let's see if he Sejuani's this here. This Usgar is probably going to have to put in some work. Life's hard when you don't draw Leonas. So, do we want to just make this 6 health? I think I'm kind of okay with that as well. So he can still get into combat at some point.
Born for conquest.
At least getting another card out of this is kind of what the hope was here. Might? Sure. Absolutely.
Fall, heretic.
Okay. And I don't think these other cards are just worth playing here. I think all we can really do in this spot now is play the big Sun Guardian and See what kind of magic he can pull off. Right, there's no reason to add Solari Soldier here. We could save this to maybe get a stun with a Leona later.
Hail, War Mother.
Drive them before us, Era.
The big boom. All right, looks like somebody's about to get hit with the old Usgar Overwhelm 1-2 punch. have to see if we're able to pull that off.
Stand and fight.
He needs 2 cards. This is a touch awkward. Because the thing I want to happen is to be able to Usgar into this. What do you think about maybe? Okay. I think I want to do this. It sucks to make this block. He's gonna have a trick here a lot of the time, but I think with like how aggressively he is playing with that might, there's just a real chance that he has 2 cards here. So I'm okay with the 1 card happening, but if he has 2 cards, then we just lose. And you know, we're not real intent on just losing the game. Now we can get through with our Usgar here. So we're gonna Uzg it up. And, we're gonna Zenith Blade also, but then he's doing stuff. I don't know how I feel about that. I think we're gonna have to give up on this kind of go wide plan that we were thinking of, and just go for the KO. Right, I wanted a backup plan in case he has like a frostbite here. Just not risking it now.
Run! Crack ice and flesh!
How much overlap is this? Just neg 1? How much overlap is this?
Roland!
Neg 1? They're the same? Did the mathematics and they're the same? That's stupid. Okay, we'll take on this guy. Just GG'd. Okay. Wrecked. Sorry, Goo. Okay. Let's get ready for that final battle. Oh man, I want this Ravoon, but is it the cost of a shield bearer? We just have to do it. I mean, we have 4 shield bearers, so that's okay. But 2 Ravoons is pretty important, I think. So let's snatch this up. Kind of hurts. We're gonna see another one before these trades are over with. We want this one. we want to undo that and trade out the Stalking Wolf. But I think we have to keep this. I don't want multiples of these. Well, I'll take multiples, just not at the cost of a 2-drop. Don't want more Zenith Blades. No, well, we could hit an Allegiance. We are like right at that maximum of 6 cards. Costs 1 less. Gives us access to something more expensive. I don't think we need it. We're gonna just lose so hard if we play Scryer and miss. I'm gonna hang on to our Reaver. He seems legit enough. Now this one here, I actually am gonna do this. I traded out 1 of my early drops. I want to pick up another one. We have Aurelian Soul to do expensive things. Like, we have enough expensive dudes in Aurelian Soul and Usgar that this Mind Splitter is not super necessary. Especially, I mean, we just picked up our second Ravoon, which kind of counts as big stuff and also draws big stuff, and we have 2 Priestesses to pick up more big stuff. And so I think we'll be okay without the Mind Splitter. All right. Huh. Interesting. 4th Leona. Now, now I want my Mind Splitter back. What's the deal with these trades? Yeah, I'm going to take it. Our deck can easily pull off this 1, 2, 3, 4 curve that's just so incredibly powerful. I'm all about picking that up. And this is interesting. I don't think we can take the Priestess. I think that's just a little too greedy. This is a pretty top-notch combat trick, and we don't have a whole lot of ways to interact. Like, if we had we have like, you know, the late game interaction with the sunbursts. We have just like a touch of the early game interaction with like Sunblessed Vigor. If we had like one or two more of like Brittle Steel or something, Elixir of Iron, just something to do in the early game when like we have these curves where we play Soldier, Shield Bearer, and then have an extra mana going into turn 4, then sure, I'll trade out Fury of the North. But I think we need to keep this bit of interaction in our deck. So we'll hang on to it. Jump on into the final battle. So yeah, welcome to Leona here. I mean, we don't have 6 shield bearers anymore. Those trades kind of got us. We got on those trades a little bit, but you know, it is what it is. Okay. The full shadows and dust. Let's see how this goes. See if we can't just shut down the aggro with our 1s and 2s. Yeah, I think that's reasonable. I want to look for a dude with Zenith Blade. Not real jazzed about keeping the Ancient Yeti. Like I think that just speaks to the strength of these Leona decks is when you have an opening hand Ancient Yeti and you're just kind of like, yeah, I don't really want it. Yeah, that's just kind of an absurdity, but that's the state of Runeterra Expedition at the moment.
Hang on, Fuzzball.
And I'm just gonna keep going on curve. We'll play this guy here. We'll play the soldier next turn. We're just straight onto this turn 4 flipped Leona curve. I'm pretty stoked about it. Love to see a Zenith Blade make an appearance and just kind of take over with it.
We will not suffer unbelievers.
They will not escape punishment.
But
Okay,
awaits out.
Cool to make this trade. I don't want to just give him a straight value block. Interesting. Oh. Oh. All right.
Does death follow me, or peace?
You're at 3 now? Okay. Good chance we just get boomed by like a
Carry her light across the
Behold the
like
divine power of the
that
sun.
thing that makes any of those cards that make ephemeral units. Like we might be getting domed here, but this will at least turn off 5 to 6 damage hitting his duo.
Glorious light rains down.
Right, his plan here has to be playing the I can't remember him, the Hecarim card or the Haunted Relic. Sure, but I mean we can block 2 reasonably.
Try to leave a dent.
I don't want to just take too much damage here. All right.
Daylight everlasting.
Solari control all that her warmth touches.
Okay. It's
Sunlight
a bit unfortunate, but not the end of the world. We're way ahead on board now. Well, not way ahead. We have some units that can get into combat here. I'm willing to just go ahead and get these in. They're never getting better blocks. Like he's gonna get a value hit, but we need to get the damage in.
Sunward.
Trespassers.
Like if we want to set up these turns where we kill with the overwhelms, we have to just push that damage.
I can learn from watching you.
Now the scary thing is, do we have to play a unit here? This isn't like an ultra scary sparring student. So I don't think we just like immediately have to smash a unit out here. Like okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna priestess. Golden Sister's fine. Might need that heal, might need that elusive to deal with the duo. Okay, Shark Chariot's much more manageable than other options.
I
Ends up.
am the blade
Oh boy.
in the darkness.
Okay.
Are you supposed to be here? I have many.
But I mean, the key here is he's down to one card, and so we can
Back heretic.
probably just do something like this. Do the absolute
No
minimum
mercy for
effort
heretics.
to not die. Right, we don't have any blocks to where we can just save our units, and then we're just going to have to overwhelm our Ravun and hope that he doesn't have interaction. So if he can interact with us, he'll probably win. If he can't interact, he'll lose. It's like sounds like a fun game of Runeterra right there. Okay, big draw on Fury of the North. It's probably a little bit safer than trying to Morning Light here.
Laharak march!
Your ancestors await.
Do not disappoint me.
Alright, let's see if that's enough. Like I said, if he can interact, he wins. If he can't interact, he loses. Okay, good game, friend. Nice little 7-piece. Okay, so cool. Give the 2 winner with Swain in the previous trial, then nice to pull up a little 7 here. And so yeah, I'd be glad to talk about why I think Leona is still ridiculous. And so yeah, you know, we kind of mentioned there's a couple of Leona decks that you can kind of pivot into. We had the opportunity at the beginning to just switch into doing invokes. It is at least good now that they've made those changes, some changes to where we didn't just get this monster Solari deck plus invokes that's just 100% absurd. But in my opinion, what I've been preaching for how many weeks are we at in this game, where this is week 6 of Call of the Mountain, is you shouldn't be able to assemble these decks that have 4 soldiers, 4 shield bearers. At some point we had 6 shield bearers and like 2 or 3 soldiers. You shouldn't be able to do this. This is absurd. What tools Riot has at their disposal to make this not happen, I don't know. But you can't play aggro decks into this, right? Even like how are these games supposed to pan out? Like where an opponent gets a favorable combat in the early game against either thing that we're doing here. You just can't. There's just too much stats. Like, why am I getting 6 plus 3? Why am I getting non-stats plus upside on other cards like Leona? Upside, having additional activations on things like Morning Light. Why am I getting all of this out of a 2-mana unit? It's just way too much. These cards are just way too overtuned. And the thing that worries me about Leona is they just did stuff. They just added those abysmal cards to the card pool, and so it's tough. Like, I get that this is tough for Riot. At the spot that they're at now is kind of the answer to fix this is you add another 1-drop into this card pool. And then do you make that 1-drop show up more frequently than Solari Soldier? I would prefer it to be something playable, like seeing them add Tall Tales into Enlightened Trundle. That's that doesn't feel good for anybody, right? At least give a playable card in there to adjust the percentages. But I get the problem that they have. There's like 40 Targon cards. They can't put another 1-drop in here because they don't exist. They can't put other 2-drops in here because they don't exist. They can't add Tyrion in here. And so that's kind of like problem number 1. Problem number 2, it's like I don't know how they actually balance cards, but I believe it's just all due to constructed. I'm fairly confident that the way expeditions get balanced is all of the card balance is due to what happens on ladder, and then they try to adjust how frequently cards show up in expedition based on how well things are doing. And so we're never going to see Solari Soldier get nerfed. He's never going to be Daybreak, give me +1 attack this round. He's forever going to be give me +1/+1 unless he becomes a problem in constructed. And so the devs got their work cut out for him here because this deck it's technically been like nerfed 3 times now, right? 2 or 3 times. The reason it was so good at the start was like the big Call of the Mountain bonuses on finding Call of the Mountain champion, so you could take Leona and any other Targon champion. And then they cut the percentages down on how things showed up as far as cohesiveness goes. They've cut that down 2 or 3 times, and like still, I should not be getting decks that have at a maximum of 6 shield bearer and 4 soldiers. They're just too good. And then this curve of ultra good 1-drop, ultra good 2-drop, any of these again on 3 into a flipped champion, too much. Her Daybreak either needs to be, or her flip needs to be like 5 or 6, or she needs to cost like 5 mana. Leona is currently, I don't know if she's the best in Expedition. As far as things kind of feel, I think the total Leona package is probably the top tier pool in Expedition. Objectively, I still think Zed is better than her, but the Zed card pool has been fixed. It's still good, as you could see from what our opponent was doing in the final battle. But Zed's had a lot of tuning to his pool, as to whereas Leona, you can't tune it, right? Like I guess they can tune some percentages on the back end, but we don't know how that actually works. But nonetheless, my problems with Leona aside, we'll get back to just talking about this card pool here. At the core here, with these Leona decks, very straightforward. Whether or not you're drafting the Invoke deck or you're drafting the Leona build around, just take all these. Take every soldier, take every shield bearer that you see. It's impossible to have too many. It's just that's the fact of life. It's impossible to have too many of these. And then if you're drafting, we'll just stick to the build around deck here, since that's what we ended up drafting. Zenith Blade, you're going to want at least 2. 3 is fine. 4 feels like a bit too many. But because it does start to hurt when you naturally draw these. It's pretty easy to be like, well, okay, I'm out of Zenith Blades, not a big deal. It feels pretty bad when you draw 2 of these, and so when you get up in like the 4 range, that's where you start drawing multiples of these. And so, if you get 2, great. If you get 3, sure. If you get 4, too many. If you get 1 is worse than 4. And so, still extremely important card to this Leona build around. Just makes these big bruisers in Leona and Ravoon, or even Usgar, have ways to just close out the game. And so then the last 2 cards that we need to call out, Ravoon, ultra important. We didn't have any to start with, but then we found some before the run was over. You have to have this. I kind of half mentioned it, but the way my kind of binary tree of how Leona decks work are Leona decks with and without Ravoon. The ones without are bad. Apparently not bad enough because we just crushed this run, but in theory, the ones without Ravoon should be pretty bad. And then we have the good decks and the bad decks that have Ravoon in it. And so that's kind of like the tree where he's just right up there at the top of the importance. I would say your first Ravoon is actually the most important card that you can pair with Leona. And then with Sunburst, you have to find 1. 3 is the most I would ever want to play, but any number between 1 and 3 is fine. And so, if you're crafting this on your own, kind of like the tier list of what do we find for our deck, the absolute S tier must have is your first Ravoon. Once you found 1, he drops down to like tier 3. After that, you have to find all of the Solari soldiers and shield bearers. You will take these over pretty much anything. If you have like 3 and 3, then you can start thinking about taking other cards. But you could see how aggressively we were taking these. Shield bearer, double Sun Guardian. I remember this pack being terrible. Soldier, like you could see how aggressively we're just taking these because no joke, these cards are just bonkers. Okay, and so that's like tier 1. So S tier, Ravoon number 1, tier 1. get your soldiers and shield bearers, and then kind of down at tier 2 at a little bit less importance is your sunbursts, your multiple, your secondary Ravoons, and then kind of down at tier 3, you're just kind of making sure you picked up some Zenith Blades, make sure you've picked up a Morning Light, and then kind of down at tier 4, just fill in the bottom side of your curve, kind of standard draft things. Keep your curve low, avoid this this glut of 4-drops. Not too much complicated there, but yeah, I think as far as Leona goes, that tier list is what you're really looking for. At the top, up here, way up here, Ravoon number 1. Afterwards, your soldiers and shield bearers. Kind of down at tier 3 is your second Ravoon, the rest of your sunbursts, and then at 4 you have Morning Light Zenith Blade. But yeah, pretty easy go. I was easily convinced that Leona is still as good as it gets in Expedition, and we took that one to a pretty easy 7. And so I think we have some rewards left over. Let's go ahead and give these a click, and then we'll call it a day. Leona card, yeah, that's what you get when you crush with Leona. Cool. Let's see what this reward is. Fill out these Shadow Isles cards. We gotta get all the cards so we just get more dust. We gotta get this up to like 200-300, maybe even 1,000,000 dust one day. Who knows? Who knows, guys? Random epic, isn't there only one? Yeah, I think so. Anyways, there we have it, guys. That's going to do it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the run, learned a little something along the way. This is Free to Play Bust, and we thank you for being here.